Hello, Dr. Disco is back again with another video for you. And so today's video we're going to be reviewing the second part of my Legacy Collection box sets review. And so if you haven't seen the first part of my Legacy Collection box set review, then you should definitely check it out for yourself. If you definitely really enjoyed it, then please do give a like to that video, because it was really good, and it took me a bloody long time to get uploaded to YouTube. So do like it as much as you can. And so today we're going to be reviewing this special anniversary DVD of this box set, and it is more than 30 years in the Tardis. And so I'm going to read you the backstory. I'm going to tell you what this DVD is about, tell you what the special features are, and also how this commemorates as a contribution and a celebration of 30 years in Doctor Who. And so let's begin. More than 30 years in the Tardis, featuring John Pertwee, Colin Baker, Peter Davison, Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy. An extensive version of a documentary first shown in November 1993 as part of the 30th anniversary celebration of everybody's favourite science fiction series, Doctor Who. Including contributions from Doctors John Pertwee, Tom Baker, Peter Davison, Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy, plus a whole gang of their companions as well. More than 30 years in the TARDIS was a fitting tribute to a series that had ended in 1989. With many stunning recreation of classic scenes, this special documentary contains rare footage, deleted scenes and classic monsters as you've never seen them before. And so I thought when I read that, I thought it was such an amazing, almost like a special anniversary special for you. Almost like how Doctor Who had changed Britain forever as a science fiction show for so many years, and became such a profound show in BBC history. And so when Doctor Who was first broadcasted, I think it was broadcasted in 1963, after the death of President Kennedy, as he was assassinated just the day before Doctor Who. Just after when Doctor Who was broadcasted for the very first time. And so it was quite of a big shock and surprise for everybody who was watching it on the screens, probably wondering like, who is this mystery figure called the Doctor? And who is he? Is he an alien? Is he like some kind of mystery man? And like, we don't know him yet. And so from watching that little video story, Unearthly Child, in our first episode, we've kind of got grips to who he is. What is he called? He's called the Doctor. And so does he have a real name? Is he like Doctor Who? And so as from that little story there, we kind of, as people watching that at the time, they were really like, hooked on to the show. And as many of the stories went, on, and even so the second story which appeared on Doctor Who and the Daleks, many people felt that the Daleks were so recognisable to Doctor Who, and became almost like a profound, famous show when they introduced the Daleks for the first time. The audience at that time were completely shocked and horrified at what they saw in the first episode of the Daleks, and so they were completely horrified of what they saw. Like, what is this creature? Is this like an ordinary bug-eyed creature from outer space? And as they knew, as this was the first ever monster that Doctor Who had ever encountered, they thought that this creature was so special to Doctor Who, it meant so much, and it kept going, and it kept returning time and time again in further upcoming years, like as the Dalek Invasion of Earth, the Daleks Master Plan, and other more Dalek stories in the future. And so it became as a well-known favourite monster in Doctor Who, and the kids absolutely loved them. I think the parents at that time were so surprised and so, shocked of what they saw. They thought it would probably be inappropriate and too violent for children, but children absolutely adored them. They thought that the show was so thrilling and so frightening for the children to get mortified at. And so it kind of brought out the kind of sense of, scared that they kind of felt when they watched the Dalek moving towards Barbara. She screamed so horrific And so from that moment on, they realised how horrifying Doctor Who can really be, but it's for the better good, as it brought out so much excitement into children's eyes, and so it became a profound show in the 1960s, and then it became so popular after then, and then it became more popular and better in the upcoming years as the Doctor Who, or as we know, in the now years in New Who, we know he's a Time Lord from Gallifrey in the constellation of the Castabridge. They didn't know where he was from at that time until 1969, where Patrick Troughton, the second Doctor, introduced us to his race called the Time Lords, and we have never knew that he was actually a Time Lord, or did the Doctor have this kind of race? Was he from outer space? Or of course he was an alien. And so they didn't know at the time who was this little mystery man who flied around in a TARDIS. And so it was quite a brilliant place, kind of a brilliant scene to see how this ship, so small, how can fit this giant room in. And so I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And going back through all the back in time to seeing loads of all the classic monsters, such as the Daleks, the Cybermen, the Sontarans, even so the Autons, and this little kid just right here, he's been like for the first first introduction of this DVD, when I was watching the documentary, he was like running around shooting like a gun, trying to become like trying to be the Doctor, going inside the TARDIS, exploring all of this for himself. It kind of felt like a childhood dream for him, and I thought of like doing this for a special 30th anniversary of Doctor Who really meant that Doctor Who meant so much to many viewers in Britain, and so it became a excuse me. And so it became a really famous sci-fi show for everybody to watch in Britain. It became so popular that every single child was adoring this documentary, and that was adoring Doctor Who for 30 years. And even so, still continuing on and on and on and on for many years to come. And so also the special features that also came in here was remembering Nicholas Courtney. As we all know, he is the Brigadier, and so at that time he kind of explains of how his child how he was brought up as a child. His mom got divorced his father, and then his father remarried somebody else, and said it was my stepmother was brilliant. And then he went into acting. He got bullied at school, but then he became a well-performed actor in TV. He preferred theatre more than TV, but when he got used to doing TV, such as doing like Sink or Swim, all those other kinds of TV shows that he did, including other Doctors like Peter Davison, for instance, in Sink or Swim, pretty good. And then he appeared as Brett Veton in the Daleks Master Plan for the first time in Doctor Who, and from that moment on he became quite of a well-known sorry, he became a well-known figure in Doctor Who history. And then he kind of moved on to become Colonel Lethbridge Stewart, and then into the Brigadier. And he carried on throughout Patrick Troughton's era into John Pertwee's, and then finished off in Tom Baker, where Terror of the Zygons was his last ever story. We thought we were never going to see the Brigadier ever again. But then when he appeared in the P. Davison era, where in Mordred or Dead, and also the 20th anniversary, the Five Doctors, he also appeared then, and kind of celebrated on how Doctor Who has changed his life forever. And then finally appearing in sorry about this, I'm coming down with a bad cold. I should not be doing this, but I promised I would do as many videos as I possibly can today, and so I'm doing one today. And so as I was saying, also in the 7th Doctor's story called Battlefield, which I recently got, I watched it, absolutely loved it. I think Brigadier was fantastic in it. And so if you really want me to review any of the DVDs that the Brigadier featured in, then please do comment down below and tell me what stories you want me to review on that had featured the Brigadier, and how great was he in that story. And so comment down below if you want to. And so yeah, we have Remember Snicker, the Brigadier. We also have the Doctor Who stories with actor Peter Perv's a companion with William Hartnell. He kind of played that as the person, like almost like his right hand man, the sidekick of his kind of arsenal. And then he kind of tells how he talks about his time on Doctor Who and how he changed his life forever, and like originally shot for the BBC's 2003 documentary The Story of Doctor Who. And also we have the what was it, the Lambert tapes, I think, is where Verity Lambert, who was the original producer of Doctor Who, talks about of her early days of producing the program, and how did it progress on as the years went on, and Doctor Who became a really profound and very famous show that very many viewers at home loved and adored to bits. And then many producers, took on the role yet again, like Barry Letts, Philip Hinchcliffe as well. They all featured in the documentary, saying how Doctor Who changed their life forever, and how, who the Doctor was, what the characters really good. The monsters, the companions, every companion had a role in the show. And so, with everybody taking such a big part in this documentary, they really got grips to how this show related to the emotion, and also how Doctor Who changed everybody's life, or wandering through time and space, lurking and fighting monsters down on Earth, and getting such used to the excitement and thrill and horror of Doctor Who. And I thought, this documentary just shows how death-defying and kind of really an exciting show that really gets people into the mood of watching something that would entertain them and give them so much horror, and it really just excites the people just watching the show, and kind of just shows how Doctor Who had grew over time into a more horror and more thrilling show to behold and watch and view, and so many more. And yet it still continues within our society today that Doctor Who is a big thing, and it's becoming more and more popular as more people watch it, as more people realize how brilliant and how epic it is. And so I definitely think that this documentary is just one of the big stars of how Doctor Who has definitely grew over time in many upcoming years. And also we have Those Deadly Divas is a little a bit where actresses such as Kate O'Mara, who played the Rani, Camille Codreau, I don't know if I'm saying that right, who played Jackie Tyler in New Who, and Tracy Anna Oberman, who played Diana, I think it was in the woman who was the owner of Torchwood in The Armies of Ghosts and Doomsday. She talks about how those divas kind of really and Gareth Roberts and Clayton Hickman to examine the role of a diva in Doctor Who. And so it also explains how women were portrayed in those early roles in Doctor Who. And so they were almost like in the early years kind of profound as very loose women who kind of scream a lot, but then most of the characters in as Doctor Who progressed throughout the many years, they kind of built up a kind of status and a second equal status for men and women as well. And so they kind of felt that a male was so equal to as a woman as well. And so I thought that was pretty good of that little bit that they talked about how a diva was and how they helped out the Doctor, or was she just flirting with the Doctor, just trying to get his love for him, and almost like many women in the Tardis kind of got very flirty with the Doctor. And so I think it was introduced in New Who, but I think most of the characters in Classic Who didn't really have a profound and flirtatious relationship with the Doctor, but they kind of had like a very diva-licious personality about them. And so I thought that was really good, explaining about how every single character or female character in Classic Who had like a divish kind of personality. And so I thought that was really, really good to show us that. And so this documentary is actually a really great DVD of how it shows us so much so much emotion and so excitement yet again throughout all the stories that happened. Also got introduced us to most of the Doctor's profound how do you say it, almost like intuition and personality. Like John Pertwee was more portrayed as James Bond. Tom Baker kind of had this funny role of, you know, offering everybody a jelly baby who he didn't know before. Pactatron having the recorder. William Hartnell being a bit, you know, stubborn and a bit, you know, arrogant sometimes towards his friends, and, you know, becoming as he is the only person who has the knowledge in time and space. And Peter Davidson having, you know, such a nice and kind personality towards his friends as well. Same with Pactatron as well. And then we have Colin Baker. Now, as people may realise, that Colin Baker isn't, you know, the well-known and well-favoured Doctor. I personally like him because I think he's pretty good. I know for his first episode he strangled his companion, but that is only how a certain Doctor is, you know, portrayed, and, you know, it was almost like his character, and every single Doctor has a different personality. And so he kind of was getting used to his regeneration, and also Sylvester McCoy was quite really good as well. And people find Sylvester McCoy quite an underrated Doctor in my opinion. And so if you quite like Sylvester McCoy, then please comment down below who is your favourite Doctor and why do you like about him. Please comment down below and tell me what you think of it. And so tell me about what you like about the character. Tell me your favourite story that you like to watch in Doctor Who. Please tell me everything that you like to know about Doctor Who, and I'll answer your questions as many as I can. And so anyway guys, I think that concludes. I know this video was quite very short, but I only just wanted to tell you what was introduced in this special documentary. If you pick up the Legacy collection for yourself, that also included Sharda that I did last time. And so if you really enjoyed Sharda, then you would definitely watch this story, because it showed all of the, you know, the studio sets, how the writers and also the producers kind of felt that Doctor Who kind of helped and introduced their lives, and also how they helped, you know, modernized and, you know, revamped Doctor Who in the early years, and how they made it into such an incredible and epic, you know, sci-fi show during that time in the 1970s, 1960s, 1980s. It became such a really brilliant and so, you know, exciting, you know, show for children and also parents watching at home and during those times. And I felt it was really good to commemorate all the special tributes of all the classic scenes that happened, all the special things that happened within the show, such as Adric dying. You know, instantly was a big shock for Doctor Who, Sharda not being broadcasted. Other things like what was it, characters being killed off, monsters being, you know, revamped, and, you know, kind of being quite devilish towards the audience, and kind of really gave out the, you know, the sense of horror, but also very, you know, exciting and, you know, kind of nostalgic, kind of, you know, something about it kind of really excites me, as, you know, my inner child is like saying like, oh, I love Doctor Who for honest reasons I so don't know how to explain. And so it almost gives you that kind of feeling that Doctor Who is kind of like a bit weird. It doesn't always explain, you know, how, you know, these things came about and how the Tardis is big on the inside. I quite like that. I kind of feel that's how I would like everything to be unexplained, because that's the best thing about Doctor Who. If you don't really tell about who the Doctor actually is, or who he is really, you know, you know, what's his name, you know, how did he came to be, you know, in our society, and traveling around through time and space in a police box. I wanted all of that to be, you know, unexplained when I was watching at the time. I didn't know about this character. I've always wanted to know who he was, what his name was, and so I kind of like kept myself a little secret, like I want to see, you know, how far Doctor Who can go. See if it can get like 100 years of Doctor Who, and if it did, I would be so happy, and I would do as much as I can. I mean, I wouldn't be doing this YouTube video in like 100 years, in like a couple of years time, in more, you know, 48 years time, when I'm, you know, like kind of an old man, or you never know, maybe dead by then. Or you never know, I could regenerate and, you know, live for another 1,000 years or so. And so anyway guys, that concludes this review on 30 years in more than 30 years in the TARDIS. If you have certainly enjoyed this review, then, and also if you do have the Legacy Collection box set, and if you're definitely thinking of picking up, and if you definitely want to explore more than 30 years in the TARDIS, then please, by all means, pick it up for yourself and definitely watch it, because it will show you how Doctor Who changed many lives for people on Doctor Who as a character or as a cameraman, and how it changed their lives forever, making the show so much popular and famous in its time with all the Daleks, the exciting and willing companions, and also especially the Doctor himself. I mean, we wouldn't be here if the Doctor had regenerated and regenerated several times. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the person who created regeneration. So he's a brilliant character, and so if you definitely really want to explore what this whole documentary is about, then please do watch it for yourself. And also on this review, if you thought it was really good, comment down below what you thought about, and also tell me what your favourite Doctors were, and also their favourite stories and what personalities that you like about them. Then please do comment down below. And so thank you for watching for this special review. And so next time I want you to comment down below on what kind of review you want me to do next. I know I'm going to be doing a Class review very shortly. I'm going to watch the third episode tonight, and I'm going to do a third episode review on Class tonight, so look forward to that. But then after that, what kind of review do you want me to do on it? I can always do another review. I think one person commented to do a review on Victoria, then I will happily do a Victoria review for you especially, and whoever commented that. And so guys, I hope you have enjoyed this special review on More Than 30 Years in the Tardis. And if you are dead excited of recommending to pick up this Legacy Collection box set, then please by all means pick it up and watch all of these 2 DVDs. They are essentially amazing. As I can tell, I've changed my word from incredible to amazing. You never know, it could change from there, or it could just stay the same. But anyway, thank you for watching for this video guys, and so I hope I will see you in a couple of hours time with the second